Hi guys. Guys. No, come on. Hi guys. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video that is going up. Like, I'm posting this. Whatever this is gonna be, it's gonna be posted. Okay? Because I've made this video countless times in my life, probably checking back to literally a decade ago, probably when I was like 12 years old. I'm 25 years old now, so it's been a long time coming. Okay, but speaking of my 12-year-old self, I'm going to start this video off by saying this video is dedicated to you, my 12-year-old self. This is my Christmas gift to you. It's basically, this video is my gift to myself for this Christmas. It's just something I have to do. Okay, I've been wanting to do it for so long. I've postponed it and it's finally happening. So in this video we are going to just be doing a little, get to know me, that classic first video thing. I have some tea, so we're going to be sipping on some tea. Cheers. First sip. And just, I asked some questions on my Instagram and I've accumulated all of them. I've written some down in my journal and I've jotted some of them on my laptop. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, my name is Emily Rose. I was gonna say my second name, but we're not there yet. My name is Emily Rose van Dimmel. I'm 25 years old and I'm living in Cape Town, South Africa. Born and raised. What the heck is braised? Why would I say that? What the heck? Anyways, a little more about me is that I am an actress. I've studied acting at Stellenbosch University. I did my honors in acting as well, and I graduated 2019. So it's really a passion of mine. I've always loved performing on stage and in front of screens. I had that passion from a very young age. I've done modeling since I was about 3 years old. I had no teeth. Like, I started when I was a baby. Okay, so I really enjoy being in front of the camera and all of that. So this is where YouTube probably started, is because the aim of this is that I just really love to entertain and educate through performing and express myself through that. Okay, and then I also am a content creator. So my main platform that you'll find me on is Instagram. This is my handle. I love creating like lifestyle content, so be it curly hair videos. That's kind of how I started out. Skincare, makeup, fashion, like all things. I don't like limit myself because I like to work with brands that resonate with me. So be it a restaurant, be it a fitness brand, be it something that is me. I love to share that and just kind of share my tips and tricks of how I do things and how I push and inspire people to just be their best selves and their healthy self and a overall healthy being. Live your best life vibes. I like to just exude that. Anyway, okay, and then more things about me right off the bat. So yeah, passions and hobbies. I really enjoy like gym. I love fitness, all things fitness. I love keeping fit and being mostly in the gym though, because I tend to hurt myself outdoors. I had a knee injury recently. I tore my ACL just from jumping on a trampoline. So I can't say I'll enjoy hiking anymore because I can't be doing that. So the gym is where I'm at. Hey, it has my heart. Okay, but I also love like crafty things. I enjoy painting and just all things expressive. But yeah, so let's get into some questions. And also in this time, you can go make yourself some tea, get some snacks, so we can just have a good vibe, like let's get to know each other. You can pop me some if you want. How about this? You tell me 3 things that you love about yourself down there, or 3 things about yourself, 3 things you love about yourself, anything like that in the comments. That would be stunning. I would love to read that so we can get to know one another. Anyway, so get your tea and then we can begin the questions. So we're gonna start this off. I screenshot some of the questions that I asked on my Instagram and I have them here. So I'm just gonna go through them randomly. I'm just gonna choose. So it might be all over the place, but let's see. Anyway, so the first one is, what are your hobbies? Okay, so I kind of answered that, and it was just kind of like staying fit. So gymming, walking along the beach, going out. I love picnics. I love picnics. You don't understand. Does it count as a hobby? Absolutely. And you know, I don't know if it's a hobby, but I love doing self-care things, like making a day and a moment just for self-care, like putting on a mask, doing my nails at home, hair mask vibes. Like, that's a hobby of mine. I really take a lot of pride and make time for it. And then I would say like my content creation and taking pictures and making videos, like it's obviously work, but it's also a hobby of mine, so it goes both ways. Ooh, this is a good one. What is on your bucket list? So recently I've ticked off one of my major things that was on my bucket list. This was probably number one, and it was just to travel. Okay, I didn't have specific places where to go, but to travel, and that is on my list. And do I tick it off? I don't know, because I still want to do more, so that is still on my list. So traveling is on my list, in caps lock, underline, bold, baby, bold, period. This YouTube is on my bucket list. Is that a thing? But yeah, it is. So tick, boom. Favorite holiday? For sure, Christmas. So it's happening right now. I'm living my best. I'm in my prime, but it doesn't feel like that, but you know what I mean. I really love Christmas. Best childhood memory, and I would say it's like Christmas time every year. My family and I would go to Langebaan, which is like the west coast here in South Africa, in Cape Town, where it's just like close to the beach, and we would camp with caravans and tents. Great time. Like, that was, I looked forward to that for like my whole school year or school journey throughout the year, and I'll be like, okay, last push, last term, let's go, you know, we're gonna be going to Langebaan at the end of the year, let's push. So it was really my motivation. Okay, so I see a really cute question, which is, what is your biggest risk you've ever taken? And I mean, I'm going to talk about this a lot, so then we're going to go into that as well. This is also one of the things I want to focus on this video is my traveling solo journey. So one of the biggest risks I've ever taken was my solo traveling trip around Europe. That was, you know, it's a risk on its own for a female to travel alone, but just for me it was even more, because I've never traveled before at all, you know, internationally. So it was that, and the fact that I was alone, and I squished it all in. It was amazing. Okay, so I'll talk more about the traveling in a bit. We can do all of that in one cluster. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Just a sec. Okay, next question is super cute. What is one thing that instantly makes your day better? What a question. Oh my gosh. What really makes my day better? If the sun is shining, it instantly just makes my day like, you know, if there's the sun, then I'm like, we're gonna tackle this day. Okay, but let me answer. If there is no sun, then listening to like one of my favorite songs, that just gets me. You know, a good old song can really get you. You know, we can be feeling low, slumpy, no energy. You play a good song, honey, boom, feeling so much better. It's actually incredible. Okay, cute question. When did you first feel like an adult? That's crazy. That's like a tough question, because I feel it like in moments, and then other times I'm like, dude, how am I 25? Like, this is weird. I still feel like I'm 21. You know, like, it feels so crazy. So the first time I felt like an adult, oh my gosh, how am I gonna remember this? Okay, without overthinking, I started like being able to proper drive, and I got my license, and I would like go on errands, fetch my nephews and things. Like, I think it's that. That's when I really felt like an adult. So next question is, when did I start my fitness journey? You look amazing. Oh, thank you so much to whoever said that. Started my fitness journey, like, I've always been in the gym, but I never knew how to take it fully serious. So I even remember gymming in high school, you know, like proper weight training and things, but I wouldn't eat properly, or like I didn't fully understand everything that goes with it, you know what I mean? Third year of university, I would say, so that is 2018 My main goal for, this is probably another question somewhere, but my goal for my fitness is just to like be strong, maintain a healthy body, and like just to be lean. So I'm not trying to bulk up really, even though even though I'm like trying to get strong, I'm not trying to bulk up really, but I just want to be toy healthy mostly. Anyways, that is the tea on the fitness. Drop me a comment if you want to be seeing fitness videos on the YouTube page. Okay, so the next few questions I've kind of like grouped together, and I've written those ones down, was more specifically about my solo traveling and my trip that I recently did, that also I want to make into a video for the next few videos, just of the places I've been to and my experience and all of that. Like I can also make a separate video on that, but I thought I'd answer some of the traveling questions in this video as well. Okay, so let's get into it. Yeah. Let me just give you the brief. Okay, so what year this is now? Last month I decided to do a solo trip, and it just, you know, one thing I would say is that I just learned so much about myself. I'm not a planner whatsoever. I'm super spontaneous, that I didn't plan any of those other, like most of the countries where I went to. It just sort of happened, okay? So overall, I went to 6 different countries in the course of a month and 2 weeks. I managed to squeeze in all of that. So I went to London, Dublin, Istanbul, Venice, Paris, and Barcelona. I managed to do all of that all alone, and believe it or not, I actually backpacked, or dare I say I handbagged to most of those places, okay? Venice and Paris, I literally traveled with only this, guys. And I also went to Barcelona with only this, as I was saying. So I wanted to save money where I could, okay? So I just saw that like checking in a bag all the times for my different flights were just gonna add up so much, and I could do so much with that money. So why not challenge myself to go with a backpack, you know? And I didn't have a backpack, so of course I'm a traveling style, but in pain, girl, because ooh, this whole thing on my shoulder, so sore. And I would not suggest that. Don't do that. Don't do what I did, because ouch, that was so sore. But you know what, we live and we learn. We live and we learn. And a lot of you asked if I, like how I planned it, who I used. Did I use a traveling agency? Did I do a tour? No, none of that, none of the above. I did everything myself basically, or with the help of a family friend, who's like a very, how do you say, a seasoned traveler, if you will. My cousin's wife, Anya, she just motivated me so much and just like gave me tips and tricks. So like, for example, if I was like, oh, well, there isn't a flight for tomorrow, she'll be like, well, is there a train? Do you know what I mean? Is there a train and a bus? Do you want to get there? So let's make a plan. So that's kind of how my traveling journey was. It's like I just did things, and it just managed to work out in front of me. So yes, the question of did I do all the traveling by myself? Yes, I was traveling solo. I would meet, so in Istanbul, Turkey, I met my boyfriend there for 3 days. That was one of the only places I knew I would know someone. When I went to Dublin, it just so happened that my best friend's mom was there, so I would see her and her family, but it was not the plan. Venice and Paris, I did not know anyone, and I just made friends there, so it might have seemed as if I knew people, but I just made friends, and that's what will happen if you travel solo most of the times. And in Barcelona, I was so blessed enough to stay with a friend's mom that I've never even met the friend, like crazy. So that's the thing. I was really solo traveling. In London, I stayed at my cousin's house, and it just worked out that when I was there, they came here to South Africa, so I was alone in their place, and I house sat them. It just worked out. Okay. And how did I feel safe in the different countries? Did I go through any dangerous situations, was the question. You know what is crazy is that I was so overwhelmed. I just heard so many bad things about traveling solo, but I also heard so many positive things about traveling to Europe alone as a female is so safe. And I would say that, yeah, I felt super safe. I was very vigilant and cautious, especially coming from Cape Town. you know, you're always on alert. But over there, for the most part, I really never got into any sort of sketchy situation. Only once in Dublin, when it was definitely my fault, if you will. I booked a hostel, and long story short, it didn't work out. Okay, I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, so most of the time I felt really safe in all the countries. Like in Paris, I heard a lot of bad things. When I was there, it was fine. You know, your own experience is gonna be your own experience. So for the most part, solo traveling was not scary for me in that department, which is a blessing. So thank you, Jesus. I love you, Lord. So the next one, someone asked about money and how much did everything cost and how did you budget everything and plan everything. Listen, you're asking the worst person about budgeting and all of that. I did not know like what to expect with anything, so I put a set amount of money in my savings, or I had my savings, and I was like, okay, you know what, let's just go for it. This is your dream, let's go, you know, let's go with it. Whatever it may be, we're gonna figure it out. But when getting there to like Europe, I got to Dublin and London, and I was like converting everything, and I started just like selling myself short. I was not splurging on anything because of the different currencies, so I was just trying to save up money where I could and spending money in certain situations. Okay, so money wise, I was balancing things out by saving in places where I could. With regards to like food, I would save, I would buy groceries and get a good amount other than eating out every time, and I would splurge my money on experiences that I wanted to do in each place. So for instance, in Venice, I didn't eat at restaurants much. I only went once, and I needed to have Italian pasta, so I'm gonna go eat Italian pasta this one day. This one meal I'm gonna have to. Italian pizza, I'm gonna have to buy one. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things you have to do, and that's where you spend your money, and for the rest you can save. So I was walking around most of the stuff. I never Ubered in all of the countries. I just walked, took the metro, took the buses and things, and just for cost effective transport wise. And oh, back to Venice, there was the one ride called a gondola, the boat in Venice. I had to do that, you know. A lot of the tourists that I met were like, no ways, you paid, what was it, 60 euros, 60 pounds, 60 euros. And I was like, this is something I had to do, so I'm gonna spend money on it and then just not eat tonight. Do you know what I mean? Like, so especially with solo traveling, you really get to just do you and use your money the way you want to. So like in Paris, I went up into the Eiffel Tower and then just again ate at the grocery store. And you know, you can really manage your money a lot better when you're alone sometimes and budget wise. But I would say that I didn't know how much money I would need because I didn't plan out everything, because I didn't plan to really go to all those places. So it's just good maybe to give yourself a broad understanding of how much you have to spend, and then you just figure it out. Okay, this is not the greatest advice, but it's my experience, is that you just figure it out. You know what I mean? Obviously you look at your amount and you know how much you have, but deduct the flight tickets, deduct your accommodation, and then see what you're left with and see what you want to do. Use your money on things, on experiences. And yeah, that's what I have to say about budget and money. And one question is, what was the coolest place that I visited? And that is such a tough question because each place I went to was so special and so different. And literally each place has such a special place in my heart. I literally swear, oh, it was incredible. Like, each place had a different vibe and a feel and experience as a whole. But one place that I feel like I was my most free and most liberated, and I felt like, yes, like I was like, was in Venice. I don't know what it was, but it felt so like I was in a movie. I just romanticized each moment, and it was so, I felt like a movie character, and I just felt so surreal in Venice. So that was one of my top places, as well as London and Barcelona and Paris, and yeah, all of them. Okay, so another question was, would I do solo traveling again or recommend it? Okay, so I would 1000% recommend a solo trip, especially to females. At least once in your life, do a solo trip for yourself. You don't have to go on an absolute spree and, you know, go to all the different places, but at least to one country or to one different place alone. It's going to change your life, I swear. It's one of the best things I could have done for myself. And would I solo travel again for that length? I don't know. You know, it feels like been there, done that. However, I would for sure go to a different, like a country, do work, and then come back. Like 50-50 about doing it again. However, I would highly recommend any female to solo travel at least once in your life. And a male and males, okay? Solo traveling is so good for the soul. Okay, and one thing that I've learned from solo traveling, I can't even just say one thing, okay? I learned so many things. I've always heard from my friends, especially my friend Crystal, that's now a hostess. She always told me, like, you're gonna learn so much about yourself when you travel. And I heard that from my cousins and everyone that's traveled. You know, I always used to be so inquisitive and ask about traveling and how is it, like, what happens, how do you, you know, do you feel different, like, how do you see the world now? You know, I always used to ask so many questions. So I always wondered, like, will I experience that? Will I learn more about myself, like me? And yes, how I handle certain situations, like what are my thoughts when I'm alone, like how to entertain myself properly, like things that I got to do and fully just trust my decisions. I only had me in moments when usually it's easy to rely on someone. When I was exhausted one night, I was just like, can someone else just get me home? But it was all I had was me, you know. So I saw my limits and my strengths and how far I can do and how much I can just rely on myself. I just learned so much, okay? And also just about like exceeding my own boundaries that I've set for myself, my own limitations of like, can I do this trip on my own? Like there were so many things I always thought I limited myself on. And after this trip, I just feel like, whoa, it's so amazing to access the bigger, like access the Emily that I saw and that I met on this trip is like the Emily that I always wanted to be. So I just really got to step out of my own box and live the way I wanted to, kind of step in the driver's seat of my life type of energy. Yeah, it was amazing. So that's also what I want to share on my channel throughout, is like more of what I've learned over the past few months and weeks of traveling. And you know, I'm going on this journey now where I'm kind of just like going through more of a self-discovery development thing, and honestly I feel like there's so many things I would love to share as well. So without keeping this video too long, I think that's where I'm going to end off. Is this another plane? Hold up. So like I said, that would be the last question for now. And my tea is now done. So I think it's perfect that we just end off here. I just want to say thank you so much if you came and you listened and came to the end of the video. I appreciate each one of you. Dare just be me rewatching this video. It is okay. I'm just super proud and I have to pat myself on the back for making it this far with regards to posting it and keeping myself accountable to just beginning this thing, you know. And like I said, I've been wanting to do this for so long. So thank you for being on this journey with me and witnessing it. Appreciate it, and I really hope you enjoyed and that you are looking forward to the next one. Yes, it's just gonna be vibes. Listen, all I want for this channel is for it to be a good vibe. Let's vibe together, you know what I mean? Let's have a good time here. Like, share, and subscribe. That's crazy. That's so funny to say. But yeah, thank you so much. Until next time.